Welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. So today is my afternoon coffee. Just like any addict, I just need to get well. Today, I'm quite excited for this one actually. I'm quite excited. So in my previous videos, I have taken you through some of the newer beans that I got, and I wanted to revisit the first two beans that I got. This particular one, so after discovering what anaerobic fermentation was, I actually really liked it, and so I went out of my way to look for more. Anyway, this is from Rocket Coffee. Rocket Coffee, the state is Rafael Amaya from Colombia. Now this is quite interesting. This is 200-hour anaerobic washed. So 200 hours, literally 200 hours of anaerobic fermentation, which is quite interesting because a lot of the other beans and descriptions around about 20 to 40 hours of anaerobic fermentation. So I wanted to see what the longest one was, and this is no longer available. Hopefully it comes available again, but this is no longer available. When I bought it, after about a week, they stopped selling it, but obviously they don't have an infinite amount of these beans. So these beans come in and they're at the mercy of whatever's produced, right? So 200 hours anaerobic fermentation. It is 1700 to 1800 altitude in meters. Okay, it is a region of Timana, farm La Virginia, is it Virginia? Virginia. Crop of 2022, and this is pink bourbon, washed with 200-hour anaerobic fermentation. So I'm excited to take you through this because this is the longest fermentation I've seen. And then there is the EF2, which is multiple processes of fermentation and blah blah. Okay, so first observation, the beans. The beans, once again, they are some small ones, some round ones, some big ones, and I love the look of that. It's just so rustic looking. Also, it tells you that they picked the right beans regardless of the size of the bean. So the reason why I gravitate towards single origin and the finite experiences is because, just like whiskey, we focus on single barrel and independently bottled. If you want some generic shit off the shelf, then you just go to your local liquor store, you buy some generic shit and you drink that, okay? I don't review the generic shit on my whiskey channel because once you've had one, it's the same almost every time. You have to wait 8-10 years for some flavor creep for it to change. I want something exciting and I want it ever changing. I guess that describes my ADHD. The same with coffee. I want something that is slightly different every time, and it's just an exciting trip. Every time I buy a bag, it's something different, okay? Something different. So so I quite like that fact that they pick the berries ripe, regardless if it's big or small, and they'll come back for the other ones that aren't ripe, whilst the big machine harvesting ones, they just harvest the shit out of everything, regardless if it's ripe or not, and that's why you over roast them. But this is supposed to be actually it doesn't even say, but from the description online when I ordered it, it was a light to medium roast. So let's get nosing. Oh fuck! So this is so weird. It's so funky. This is so funky. It's like I am getting wet carpet. I'm getting pickles, literally pickle, like dill, like as if I'm getting a gherkin from a jar. It's such a weird smell. A waxiness. I think it is borderline on the slightly light side. It is nutty, woody, brown rice, roasted brown rice. It's even got that slight greenness of matcha, really bizarre, of matcha powder, shall I say. It smells, one thing I can't put my finger on as well, it smells a little bit meaty. I can't describe it. It's got an oil and fat smell to it. It smells a little meaty, like a cured meat. And the only way I can describe it is when you go to an Italian cured meat shop, a deli, and I am literally getting salami, cold fermented salami. It's got that funkiness to it. and some prosciutto fat. It's such a weird smell. It's a glorious smell. It's fantastic. I love it. I am fucking loving this. It's got dark cocoa, you know, when you open a pack of Lindt, chocolate, 80%, and then at first you don't smell anything because it's so solid and volatile and it's not very creamy, and then you touch it and you smell your hand, and you know everyone's done that. You touch it and you sniff your fingers, and so it's got that cocoa, heavy chocolate and cocoa smell. Now, I'm not sure about the soil here. I do not know. If someone could tell me, that would be great. But I get some, like, I smell like a peat with clay. I don't even know if that's possible geographically, geology-wise, but I smell peat, like peat moss that you see from the garden store, and clay. Wow, the most unusual coffee bean I have gotten so far. The most unusual coffee bean. On the description it says candy floss, Chilean guava. I get the Chilean guava a little bit. I think because when the Chilean guava becomes super ripe, it gets a little funky and it's got that sharpness. But candy floss, I'm not getting the candy floss. I'm getting more earth, chocolate, nut, cereal. Oh, that could be the name of my sex tape. Okay, so let's get sniffing. Oh, balls. That is so... Oh, the meatiness translates. The meatiness, I can't explain that. It is the most bizarre thing ever, but I can definitely get that meatiness. On the liquid smell, the meatiness is more of a prosciutto and prosciutto fat. I get that funkiness. And I get that fruitiness as well coming through. I wouldn't say Chilean guava, but I get what they mean. But it's definitely an overripe fruit. I'm even thinking a little bit of banana in there. An overripe banana. But it's funky. I know it sounds weird, but the nose of it almost smells like the faint hint of rotting fruit and rubbish. Like, I know it sounds screwed up, but like a faint hint of stinky tofu when you go to Asia and you smell something off and you're like, the fuck is that? In the best and worst way possible. That's the cocoa and chocolate is there. The nose is a bit heavier on the roast side. So on the beans it's not, but on the brew it feels like it is more in the medium, supposed to light to medium. Oh wow. Freshly tanned leather when you walk into a leather store. Wood ash. Fresh pine wood. Like when you go to a hardware store and you get that white pine, you know, that's what I mean. Not like chopping a pine tree down, but like pine wood. Oh wow, the chocolate is there. It's just so beautiful. That's amazing. Alright, let's sip this shit. Oh wow. Tangy, a little tangy, slightly fruity on the front palate. The finish is quite long. Wow, this is by all means not an easy drinking, I was going to say whiskey there, not an easy drinking coffee for most. It is funky, it is a mouthful, it's sour, a touch of sweetness, earthy, dirty, like wet soil. I really like the smell that I'm getting in the back of my palate is like a wet soil smell, you know, like when you're digging a hole and it's wet soil. It's got a wood ash smell to it, you know, when the ash is cooled down but you can still smell it. leathery, nutty, cocoa nutty, like cocoa, cacao, cocoa, chocolate. Definitely chocolate flavors. It's got a pleasant bitterness to it. I love. The other coffees that I've had weren't as bitter. They were slightly more fruity-ish. This is definitely slightly heavy on the roast, I think, in a way. Although I've been told that this roastery is known for their light to medium and very light roast, but this particular one it's quite a ballsy coffee in terms of the roast. The meatiness, it's weird. It's like drinking salami tea. It's like getting a slice of salami, you put it in hot water, and then you drink it. It's got that salami and meatiness to it that I cannot explain. It's funky. It is weird. It is definitely not for someone who wants an easy drinking whiskey. Coffee. Oh wow, amazing, fantastic. I'm really loving the anaerobic, but I have to be careful that I don't just get anaerobic. So my next batch of coffee, which I'm going to get in about a week or two, I'm going to make sure I get some naturals and washed, maybe some honey. I haven't featured a honey yet and I don't have a honey here. So I will, but bottom line is I will get as much as I can and I will try as much as I can. Anyway, the link down below for Rocket Coffee, okay, for Rocket Coffee, and all of the details of the cultivars and everything will be down below. Until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink, and caffeinate. Thank you, and what are your thoughts on anaerobic fermentation? What is the longest anaerobic fermentation have you had? Until next time, let's get well together. Cheers. Oh. Funky.